Hey guys, Ryan JAUNZEMIS here, Las Vegas' #1 dating coach. And I'm here to talk about my new book, Target Market Assessment Program. So today, I want to talk about this book and give you guys a little bit of insider information on what this is all about. Now this book is an absolutely magnificent tool for any of you guys out there who are really ready to become successful with women. The tips and techniques that are in this book, they are definitely going to help you guys eliminate the pains and frustrations that you have with dealing with women. The first thing I want to do is read you guys the front and the back cover synopsis, and then we're going to go into a few of the tips and techniques and theories that are described within this book. And afterwards, I'm going to give you guys some more secret insider information on where you can go next if you want more information. So right off the bat, a specialized program to help you to assess the exact types of women that you really want before you approach. And from the back it reads, there is an exact, scientifically proven method to meeting, dating, and attracting beautiful women. If you can learn how to follow the method, then you'll get the girl. But before you can get the girl, you must first know exactly what it is that you want. The Target Market Assessment Program is your first step in completing any and or all mission objectives in which you might have. And then you see right here there's a model of my real game method. Learn how to better understand women and more clearly define your dream girl, i.e. your target, fast. Discover who your target is, where she's at, and what time she may be at this location based on advanced personality and character profiling. Apply advanced geospatial and other mapping strategies to help pinpoint your target's exact location. Understand mission reconnaissance and pre-logistics. Create and harness the power of vision and or dream boards. Finally, retune and recalibrate your body's reticular activation and internal targeting systems. Better understand female psychology so you can start predicting your target's moves ahead of time. And much, much more. Now the first thing that I want to talk about with you guys is you have to understand that target market assessment is the first phase in my method of how to pick up girls. Now, you can see by the diagram here, if you are a PUA, pickup artist, or in the seduction community, then you probably recognize the ACS point. And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, basically what that represents is attraction, comfort, seduction. Initially what happens when you first encounter a female, from the first initial eye contact, right? Let's say that was right here, all the way to penetration, to sex, happens in a series of overarching phases. We first attract the girl, we then build comfort, trust, comfort, connection, and commonality, which I call TCCC, and then we move into seduction, foreplay, and then to sex. Does that make sense? What's the problem here with most of these pickup gurus is they all tell you you have to start in attraction and you just have to go and approach girls and just talk to 10 different girls, talk to 20 different girls, 50 different girls, and hopefully one of them might perhaps say yes. And if that girl becomes attracted to you, then you move into comfort and seduction, and sex occurs, and then possibly a relationship or multiple long-term relationships, however you want to play the game. But let me ask you a question. When you approach the game like this, when you just go out and just start talking to girls, what do you get? Well, if all you're doing is talking to random girls, then all you're ever going to get is random girls. But what about you guys out there that want a specific girl or a specific type of girl? Maybe you, for example, I had a client of mine. He was a Mexican guy, and he told me, quote unquote, he only want to date hot Latina girls. Okay, hot Latina girls. So I asked him, where are you going to meet hot Latina girls in Vegas? And he said, well, I go out with my friends to Pure Nightclub. I said, great. Pure Nightclub is a great place if you want to meet 22-year-old white college girls, party girls, or girls that get dressed up to get drunk and fuck guys who have VIP booths and lots of money. Okay, that's not the place where you go to meet hot Latina girls. In Las Vegas, if you want to meet hot Latina girls, then you want to go to Crown Nightclub on Thursday night specifically, because that's Latin night, where they're going to have Latin girls, they're going to have salsa dancing, and there's going to be a whole bunch of hot Latina girls all in one place. Do you see how that works? Now, most of these pickup gurus, what they're telling you is just go out and just start approaching girls. But if that's not the type of girl that you want, then to me, I just consider that really poor time management. There's a much better way to go about it. For example, I had a client of mine, he was a lawyer, okay, and he said, quote unquote, that he wanted to date hot raver girls. So I said, that's great. Are you a raver? He says, no. I said, do you know who Tiesto is? No, a DJ? Okay, great. Now myself, I'm a raver, and I took kind of offense to that. Why? Because let's imagine a hot girl who's a raver. She's in a culture and a community, okay? And here comes this lawyer guy who doesn't know anything about this girl as a person, doesn't know anything about her culture or her taste in music. He just wants her because she's pretty, aesthetically, physically. If you were that hot girl, would you want to date some random lawyer who came up to you who knows nothing about you or your culture, doesn't care, doesn't give a shit, just wants you because of what you look like? Do you really think that is a basis that will make a solid relationship? Probably not. So, when I asked this lawyer guy, okay, you know, are you a raver yourself? No, he doesn't. Okay, he doesn't know who Tiesto is. He doesn't know who deadmau5 is. He doesn't know anything about rave culture. But he knows he wants to date hot raver girls. Well, you can't really start an attraction if you're not attractive. Meaning that if this lawyer went up to this hot raver girl, he has nothing to offer her. The hot raver girl, just by token that she's hot, could date any of the leading DJs at EDC or even a guy who's a fellow raver in the community. She has options. He does not. So before he can start approaching an attraction, he has to first become attractive. And that happens in a stage before attraction, and that's what these pickup gurus have never told you. Before you can attract a girl, you have to first become attractive. So, right before you ever meet the girl in attraction, before the open phase, is a phase that I've isolated called lifestyle mastery, LM for short. And that is a stage where you as a man become the type of man who would naturally attract the type of woman that you want. But even before you can do that, you have to first know what you want in a woman. You have to know exactly what you want. You need to know not just what she looks like. You can't just, a lot of guys, I say, what do you want in a woman? They say, oh, hot, pretty, big tits, nice ass. No, you got to know your target. See, the types of girls that I date, I know them better than they know themselves. You have to narrow down what I call your target market in your target market assessment. And that is what I teach you in this book, how exactly to do that. And that's going to be, this is a workbook, by the way. This is something that you write in. There is a huge section in here where you are actually taking out your pen and your paper, and you're going through and you're filling out all the information on your target. Not just, there are the aesthetics, hair color, eye color, you know, weight, income, astrology, horoscope, like everything is in there physically, but also on her personality. There's a lot of different girls out there. For example, perhaps you want to date, you know, like the lawyer guy, you want to date raver girls. Well, raver girls, in character profiling, she's going to have a certain type of archetype. She's going to be into certain types of music. She's probably going to be in a demographic between a certain age range. And if you can understand her archetype, then you'll be able to pinpoint exactly, for example, where she's going to be at. If she's like a raver girl, then she's probably going to be going to raves. And so in the target market assessment, you're not just figuring out who your target is, you're also figuring out where she's going to be on what time, date, location, everything. And we get into mapping strategies and basically how you can track your target as to where she's at. For example, some guys, they like one client of mine, he was into bookworms. Okay, now like a bookworm versus a raver, very two different archetypes of girls. Where am I going to find bookworm? Not at a rave. Where am I going to find a raver? Probably not at a Starbucks coffee where you find the bookworm. Okay, you know, another archetype might be the gangster girls, or the stoner chicks, or the band geeks. You know, all these different types of business class girls. You know, the girls that some of you guys are after higher caliber women who are making you know, 6 figures, 120,000 a year. Some of you guys want the girls who are also millionaires, or girls who are multi-millionaires. And if you understand, a person who's making $10 million is not going to hang out at the dive bar. It's not going to, most likely, it's not going to happen. Okay? If you want the high class, high status business type women versus a girl who's hot, who just likes to, your typical get drunk and fuck type of girl, for like a one night stand at the dive bar. Okay, you have to understand what you want, is the bottom line here. And if you don't, you're just basically going to be doing the typical opening sets and going for whatever you can get. My theory is, you know, if you go out there and you only talk to random girls, you're only going to get random girls. But if you only go for the exact type of girls that you want, sooner or later, with hard work and effort, you're ultimately going to end up with the exact type of girl that you want. I know that it's true because I used my own techniques and ended up with my dream girl, who I was in a relationship with for 2 years. I used the exact techniques in this book. In fact, I used them in real time, in real life, and then after it happened, I backwards engineered my techniques, and that's how I came up with this program. Now I want to read you a quote out of here. This is under the section of recalibrating your target system. It's interesting, you actually have an internal targeting system. It has to do with the reticular activation system in your brain, and if you want more information on that, definitely check out the book. But real quick, you do have an internal targeting system, and most likely because of social programming and social engineering, your targeting system has been damaged. It can be recalibrated. It just takes a little work. A lot of guys, they just tune in, they go to the club, and basically they just, oh, she's got blonde hair, she's hot, I want to talk to her, not knowing that she may not necessarily be the best option. Okay? Whereas once you learn how to recalibrate your targeting system, your brain is basically only going to respond It's almost subconscious after a while. For example, when I go out, I only see the types of girls that I'm interested in, and then I go into set. Versus a guy who's uncalibrated and untrained, he just may go for whatever. But anyway, I want to read you this little quote that I wrote. This section is entitled, "You Are the Selector." Okay, you are the selector. Your job with women and with life is simply to select the woman and or women that you want, approach her and or them, present yourself within the best light possible, and then allow her and or them the opportunity to choose you over any other competing males. But before you can begin selecting, you must first know exactly what it is that you want. Another interesting technique that I discuss in this book is how to create a vision board or a dream board. But let me explain to you the concept real quick. For example, this is this little construct right here is something that I drew up. This is an example of what a vision board could look like. So, basically what you want to do, you want to put a picture of yourself in the middle of this board. And then you want to hang this board on your wall, or for example, I hang mine above my bed. So every morning when I wake up, the first thing I see is this board that I've created with the question all along the top that says, what can I do today that will bring my dream girl into my life? So, when you put a picture of yourself in the center, it's like looking into a mirror, in this case, of your future self. Except, when you're looking at this board, you want to think and feel the feelings of already having the girl. And I'm going to get into why you want to do that in a second. But for example, if you look over here in the left upper hand corner, it says there's a picture of this silhouetted girl right here, and underneath it says, underneath is a tagline that says, "My new girlfriend is a perfect 10." For example, if that's what you want. And what you would do on your vision board is you would go through magazines, maybe Playboy, Maxim magazine, Hustler, or whatever type of girl that you want. You can go on Google Images and pick a picture of the exact type of girl. And remember that this is fantasy. Maybe at this point in your life, you might put a perfect model on there, but you might not feel worthy as a man that you can get her. That's okay. You'll get there in time. Right now, just have fun with the fantasy. So you put a picture of your girl right here. If you look underneath in the lower left-hand corner, it says there's a silhouetted picture of a guy and a girl with some hearts, and they're kind of hugging. And underneath, there's a tagline that says, "We are each other's everything." So, for example, let's say you wanted a romantic relationship with your girl. So maybe you might go onto Google Images and type in Titanic kiss scene, and you'll see Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet kissing or hugging or whatever, and print that picture out and cut it out and put it on your board. And maybe you even want to take a picture of your face and put it over Leo's face, so it looks like it's you with your dream girl. In this case, it would be Kate Winslet's face or whatever. But the idea is that you can look at it and you can start believing, hey, I can have that type of relationship with this girl who's your total 10. For example, in the there's a couple other silhouettes on here. One is where looks like they're kissing, and it says, "Me and my new girlfriend are so happy together." Underneath that, it says there's a picture of let's say you and your girl, and underneath it says, "I am so happy and grateful now that I am in my ideal relationship." So you're looking at this in the present tense. Now, why do you want to think and feel as if you already have it? Well, a lot of guys out there, they feel unworthy, and they have this this sense of, this air of desperation that they need to get a girl. And women can sense this needy, desperate behavior, and it will turn women off immediately, okay? If you want to make a woman run as fast as she can, then be a needy, desperate guy. But day after day, as you continue to look at your vision board and you think and feel the feelings of already having your dream girl, your sense of neediness and desperation will disappear, because in your subconscious mind, you'll start to believe that you actually have you already have your girl, or you're already in the relationship that you want. So you'll begin walking around, and let's say, for example, you go talk to a girl and she shoots you down. A lot of guys, that can be a terrifying experience. They fear rejection. But if you already have the internal belief that you're already with your dream girl, and then you talk to a girl and she shoots you down, you won't give a shit, because in your mind you know that you already have your girl. But the reverse on this is, when you walk around with that type of attitude that you already have your girl, when you speak to women, they will have this sense of you that you have it all together, that you're the man, and she's not going to reject you anyway. Do you see how that works? So when you try to get a girl, she can sense you're trying to get her and you need something, and that turns a woman off. But when you act like you have it all, and you maybe you want her but you don't need her, that's the right attitude to have. That's attractive to most women. Another great technique that I get into in this book is what I like to call, well, let's just for now we'll call them mapping strategies. And what this means, for example, is like a video game, like The Legend of Zelda. Link has a map. He knows where all the dungeons are and where he's got to go to save the princess. I would suggest that you get a map, and you don't have to use a flat 2D map like I have here. You can use Google Earth and get a 3D map. There's a lot of these different techniques of how you can do these different mapping techniques, but the basic idea here is, when you look down on an area, a lot of guys, they just go out to the club, okay? One of the most foolish things that you can do. The smarter thing to do is to understand the surrounding area of the club. For example, let me explain to you like this. If you go to a club and you don't know what's around, then you won't know where to bounce your target to. For example, there is one of my favorite places to go look for girls is a place called Blue Martini, and it's a bar in a town square in Las Vegas. But before I ever went to Blue Martini, I scoped out. I did my recon. Okay, I did my pre-logistics, my planning, and I went to the area and I looked around it. And I noticed around Blue Martini, there's a lot of other little restaurants in the area. Places where, let's say I was getting along good with a girl and I felt like it's time to move her somewhere, where I could say, hey, you know what? I got an idea. We're going to go get breakfast. There's a little place down the street, and I knew that there was a place down the street because I checked on the map. But you got to remember, the map is not the territory. So you want to go visit the location in real life before. Make sure that it's still there. You might see a restaurant on the map and think, oh, you know what, I can meet the girl at the club and then take her over to this restaurant. But in real life, the restaurant closed at 5 p.m. or it's under construction, or anything could happen. So it's best to go visit the location beforehand. And a lot of guys, they don't realize that. They just go to the club and hope for the best. Now, in the case of Blue Martini at Town Square, it's very interesting that there's a parking structure very close by, within like 200 feet away. So, in this parking structure, I scoped it out, and I noticed that on one particular wall, there was no security cameras. On the entire, it was on the 4th floor. And I think they were under construction. I don't know why, but I knew that because I actually went there and I did my recon. And that's where I started parking my car. And in my gaming strategy, also being a rapper, it's fun for me to go to the club and then tell the girl, hey, I'd love for you to listen to my mixtape, it's back in my car. So move my target back to the car to listen to my mixtape. And then of course we start making out in the front seat. We go to the back seat for sex. And I was able to perform this dozens of times at the Blue Martini because I knew there was no security camera right there. And I also knew that there was a security van that does its little rounds, but as long as you know, look out for that and they don't see us in there, then there's no problem. And there was no devices recording us. Does that make sense? And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't use my mapping strategies. Very important. So for example, like on this chart right here, you can see I use these little heart thumbtacks to kind of pinpoint where my target is at. For example, there was an ice skating instructor that I figure skate, and I kept going to the ice rink, and there was a girl there who was one of the instructors, and I was just kind of periodically talking to her. I would kind of drop in, buy some new laces for my skates, and say something to her, demonstrate higher value, and then I would leave. But you know, it took a while to work this target. But pinpointing the ice rink and then looking around the surrounding location to then find the nearby little diner, you know, I use the black tacks for that, for surrounding bounce locations, you know. And that way, finally what happened is I started talking to this instructor, I got her number, I moved her from, you know, gaming in an ice rink is very much like a club. Instead of a dance floor and a bar, you have an ice rink and a snack bar. So I opened her on the ice. We went over to the snack bar for a hot chocolate. And then we went across the street to the other location, to the bounce location, to have a meal and sit down and get to know each other on a more personal level. And that's where it was nice to actually finally connect with her. But that's the beginning now of the attraction moving into the comfort phase. Now you don't have to get as crazy as I do. You know, the map that I made is basically 6 feet by 6 feet and takes up an entire wall in my walk-in closet. So, but you don't have to go that far. There's there's Google Earth, there's apps on your phone, and I discuss a lot of these apps that you can use in the book. Now at this time, I'd like to actually show you guys inside the book so you can see what it looks like. It's nice cover, looks good. This was pretty cool. I kind of took a picture of this one girl and then I just silhouetted her out and made the little target. I opened with the quote, "When you're not working on your game, remember, someone somewhere is working on their game. And when your dream girl shows up, he will get her." Table of contents. This is the preface. This is why I initially created this program and how it came to be. The process. Some personal examples. Starts with the overview. Most importantly, by the end of today, you will have defined clearly on paper what is your objective in this game. Define more clearly your specific target market. Chosen your new gaming location solely dependent upon your specific target market. Fast forward along right here. Recalibrating your targeting system. Who is your target? This is where you're actually going to be putting in some work. How to create a vision board. Where is your target? Geospatial and other mapping tactics. how to use mobile apps. Make sure to check the weather. You don't want to show up and it's pouring rain. About the author, contact information, other products. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you're interested in learning more, the book is available on Amazon.com. $12.95. You know, you can't beat that price. Or you can go on my website, www.RyanJAUNZEMIS go to store, click on Target Market, and there is more information for you here. There is also a video where I'm actually doing a live group coaching seminar that it's on YouTube as well, and you can go ahead and watch that video and you can learn a little bit more about how to assess your target market. If you're in Las Vegas, I do periodically do these private group coaching sessions where we will discuss your target market and I work with you one-on-one in person. We can also do that through private coaching. One-on-one coaching is available for a price. I hope you guys take the techniques, implement them into your life, get the girls that you want, and if you like what I'm teaching, you like the techniques, and you learn them, go ahead and then teach them to other guys. Step up your game. If you want more great tips on dating and relationships, go to my YouTube channel, go to video playlists, and click on the one that says Ryan JAUNZEMIS, Master Pickup Artist. There's some great stuff for you there. Anyway, I hope to see you guys on the next one. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Leave your comments in the box below. And we'll see you on the next one. Stay on target, guys. Peace.